Hey guys, Kobe here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are on the test server testing out Thor Hammer, the fusion that is starting this Thursday. I really wanted to try this guy out, and we did have the chance to do that. He's got a great deal of interesting skills. I want to go through them today with you guys. I'll show you the gear that I've equipped on him to test things out. Of course, this is not all possible for players out there, but just testing things, guys. I think he's going to be a great addition. I do like the AoE that he does, like the big attack all enemy skills that he has, the great passive. It all works so well together with his masteries, and I do think he's going to be a good addition if you're looking for a solid damage dealer. If you're somebody who's struggling with different parts of the game, the ability to stun enemies based on the times that this champion attacks, it's just so well put together. I don't think you'll be missing out for going on this fusion. Plus, it's been a long time since the previous fusion, so I think everybody has a relatively good amount of resources, or at least should have, to go for this guy. Should you go for him over Freya? I do think so. It depends on how many damage dealers you have compared to how many supports you have on the account. Freya will be completely different, with the deck of fates needing probably around 20 sacreds from what we're guessing. But for Thor, it's gonna be a assumingly normal type of fusion in terms of the requirements, hopefully not so much higher than we had before. So Slayer set, why did I go for the Slayer set? Gives you turn meter when you do AoEs. Okay, fills the turn meter by 5% per the first hit on each enemy from the AoE attacks. Love this part. Can also ignore 30% of the enemy's defense when using AoE skills. Fantastic. And then I have a little bit of extra attack through the Merciless set, giving me an overall of 6,000 attack, 272 crit damage with 250 speed. You don't need all of that speed, but I'm using him for the Hydra also for a showcase later on. So I wanted to give him some good speed, get more turns going. With lower speed, you're hoping to push higher stats, obviously. Okay, so have that in mind. In terms of skills, you upgrade everything because A1 hits very nice deal of damage, and can also reduce turn meter and also repeat the attack. So you get chances to proc your passive, which is whenever this champion deals damage, increases the thunder counter by 1, basically giving him more damage, 30% more damage on the maximum. And then once that hits 10, it hits for a big AoE attack, which also applies a stun. This has no cooldown, so he can keep on doing it with no worries. This is great skill. I can see so many sets working on him together with this skill. The Merciless set being one, which reduces the cooldowns on your attacks, should work very nicely on him. I could see Relentless set working on him. I could see just straight up Savage set on him, just to give you guys the guaranteed ignore damage. Don't have anything else, you're still gonna be able to do lots of damage with your skills. And the fact that you can stun enemies is so good with the AoE attacks. You have this one, which is a straight up AoE attack, boosting your attack, boosting your crit damage first, and then also permanently decreasing resistance of enemies, plus applying decreased speed on enemies if you fully book it out. But it's definitely worth it. And then you have the A2, which is an AoE attack that basically scales up in damage with the more enemies you hit, up to 100% more damage on enemies, and also ignores block damage and unkillable, but not on bosses, so not for the event dungeon. Love this attack. Love the A3. Very short cooldowns, 3 turns, work very well on him. You gain extra turn meter with the Slayer set. With the Merciless, you have the chance for that reduction in cooldowns. If you have the full Merciless, which is very hard to do, you get also the chance for an extra turn. If you have Relentless, you have the chance for an extra turn. Many different combinations you guys can try out to see his potential. But masteries, I went with War Master here instead of Helm Smasher. So why did I go with War Master? So in my thoughts, Helm Smasher can be potentially great with the additional ignore and defense that you can do on enemies, but War Master counts as a deal of damage on enemies as part of your passive. I've tested this out and it does work. Your A1 skill, I've tested it out just hitting with the A1s. I would see the hit from War Master, and you would see basically his passive proc off much sooner than you would anticipate. So good in terms of being part of his kit. Helm Smasher can work if you do like that extra ignore defense, can see some much bigger numbers than he's already doing. But honestly, he's doing a lot of damage already. I like Arcane Celerity on him since he can apply some debuffs eventually with the amount of accuracy I have on him, and the fact that he reduces resistance, and also Cycle of Magic to give you that little bit of extra chance to reduce your cooldowns a little bit. Can sometimes work, not obviously something that you depend on. We did receive a blessing for him to give him a 5-star blessing. I didn't choose to give this, although we might be able to pick it up in the future. I didn't want to showcase him with this one, although you would get a big chunk of attack with this. I believe 600 attack, plus more crit damage, plus more accuracy and resistance, plus the ability to apply a blessing that does a lot of damage. I didn't think this would be a fair showcase, since not all players will have this. Not all players will choose to go for this. Whether you should go for this, we'll probably have like an event for this, by the way, as we had in the past fusions. So whether it's worth it on you guys, I guess you'll see from the normal showcase. If you see that you're satisfied with the numbers and all, then you'll say, okay, the blessing is just going to make him that much better. So let's get started with the very simple showcase. First thing I want to do, guys, is I'll show you the spider team that is so easy to beat the spider with this guy. I mean, you don't need to have anything else. If you're somebody struggling still with the spider, if you have a team that can apply defense down weekend, you can use another damage dealing champion here. Paragon here is just extra to help a little bit with the unkillable, but just see it basically works on full auto in terms of just the amount of damage that this guy can do. It's just so good, because see, now he'll buff himself up, he attacks, basically procs his passive immediately and drops the boss to 50%. We get the unkillable. The boss now, the big spider will start spamming on the small spiders. If we had more damage dealers, we had something else, you would see that also would spam the small spiders much quicker. So see all that damage, that's 500,000 hits, crits. It's just because of that crazy passive that he has. The A2 also hits for a ton, and he's the sole damage dealer here. The sole damage dealer here. I'm not even trying to build a proper team with him. I just threw him in there with the defense down weekend, and you see on the amount of damage that this guy is doing. And once we get a turn, it's just, look at this. Boom. He just took out the spider basically by himself with no additional team here. Arbiter wasn't even needed because I had a huge deal of speed, but you can use a lower speed Arbiter, lower speed Thor with an Arbiter to give you that increased attack. You don't need the Paragon if you have something else for shields that you can use. You got more damage dealer, then that's great. It just makes the run quicker, but it just makes it so that it's very easy now to farm spider on hard mode because of this guy. Love it. The combination here is just fantastic. Let me just show you the test I've done for his passive. Basically, I threw in lots of supports just to keep him alive, just to not deal with that. And I wanted to test on how his passive works with the War Master. So we'll count this together. Let's have a look, guys. So we'll be buffing here just to get things going, help everybody stay alive. So here, let's just count on the numbers that we see on the screen. We see a red number, that's a War Master. We see a yellow number, that's his A1. So here he hits, and that's 4 yellows and then 1 red. That's 5 hits. Remember, his attack can repeat on his A1. That's why we saw all of that. So we're currently looking at 5 attacks. I'm just going to be using his A1 because his A3 and A2 guaranteed to make his passive proc. Then let's see the A1 again. Slowly, hopefully here. Hits for 2 times and then a War Master. So that's 8 so far. So on the next time he uses the A1 skill, so the default attack, he should counter with the passive. Basically instantly activate it and stun all these enemies right there. So we should get the attack now. Get that Terminator going. Let's see. Boom, boom. We hit 2 times there. There it is. There's the passive. So there's the War Master proc that affects his passive. That's from the testing I've done. I wanted to show this again in case anybody was doubting it. That's why I think the passive works so well. So see how much damage he did without any defense down. And without, I didn't think he had any buffs on at the time. Maybe he had, but with an increased attack there, he could have just completely wiped out the wave. So with additional support, you can use that on the hard mode version of the spider and just make this work. It's just, he works so well. Okay guys, so I've also tested Thor over in the Hydra clan boss. We're currently fighting the nightmare version of the clan boss. I went ahead and let this team run for 140 boss turns, and he's been great. I mean, the AoE capabilities that he has with double AoE attacks, A3, A2, is just fantastic. The set that I'm currently running on him, the Slayer set, also gives him bonus turn meter. It's just a fantastic way to get your turn meter filled as well because of all those AoEs that you're doing. You're ignoring defense. It's an easier set to get if you are a Forge Pass user, so that's a benefit. He does a great deal of damage. He reduces resistance. Works overall very well in many different combinations. Higher damage is of course possible depending on the team setups that you want to be running. I would recommend, of course, optimizing your gear as well if you're trying to get a high damage team going for the Hydra. I do love the fact that he hits all the time. I do love the fact that he hits hard. He buffs himself up. So you do have that increased attack buff available from himself, increased crit damage as well. Overall, looks like a fantastic champion for the Hydra compared to other champions we had in the past for damage dealers. Okay, if you have defense down on the boss, if you have a weekend, it helps a ton with damage. If you have a hex, also helps a lot with damage. If you have ways to apply block buffs, helps to get your team going for longer. Decreased attack helps you survive against the Head of Wrath. Many different combinations are possible. So what I want to do now is just pause the run and see how he did on the Hydra in terms of damage, comparing him to other champions with blessings on and much better sets, much higher speeds, such as my Mishinagi has much higher speeds and a blessing, and also I've got a 6-star blessing on the Archer, so should be a good amount of difference. But the Hex also gives them a good boost to their own damage, the Hex, that debuff that they apply. So let's end the run and see the battle recap and see what Thor did in this Hydra run. So he did 69.2 million, 47 here, 52 on Mishinagi, and these two apply Hex. So he did more than them without any blessings, with worse stats. If I remember correctly, they do have worse stats on him, and he's attack based, so he doesn't have the defense to stay alive. He didn't die in any of the well, the run that I was having a look at, but I was very comfortable with keeping him alive in this kind of combo, especially with Chris in there. Beefy with the increased defense as well as the possible revive, plus the true fear removal with the Head of Torment. Pretty good combo. I mean, it's not the highest damage that you'll see, but it just shows that he is there. He is very much worthy of placing him in your nightmare team. So let's go and carry on with the showcase. Right, so for Arena, I don't see Thor being used all that much. I don't like his kit for Arena that much. I don't see his multipliers being that high. So overall, do I like him for PvP? Well, for the basic accounts out there, yeah, he's going to be a damage dealer, but you'll be building him for PvE stuff, Doom Tower pushing and all that. For PvP, the stun is okay, but you'll be facing Polymorph for the more higher end. So you'll be facing that. It's not going to be nice. His damage is not that great as an AoE damage dealer. He's attack based, doesn't have anything to his kit such as damage mitigation, doesn't have a way to protect himself from dying. He's not like the Rotos. He's not like the Taras. Not like the Narcis. So there's no way that he can replace those kind of damage dealers, especially as a fusion champion. Okay, so if we test him out a little bit here, let's see. We try to lock the enemies out. Let's see his A3 here, how much we hit. Remember the stats we had. We don't have a Savage set on, but we do have a Slayer set, which basically gives us the ability to ignore defense on AoE attacks. So yeah, good damage there. 82,000, basically killed everybody. Not that great. Block damage there, we are fine because his A2 can ignore block damage. Is this something to basically stop the sequence? I don't know. But we're gonna see his A2 in action here. I wish there was a way to make it even slower with the attack so we can see everything here. Let's see. Boom, 100k basically. 100k basically ignoring the block damage. Worked very well there. Liked it. Very high defensive team here. I wonder how that is going to work with this team. We're going to try and lock them out, but we don't really have a way to ignore defense, really, other than the Slayer said 6-piece. So I would have preferred, we also had Helm Smasher here, but for this attack, yeah, I'm going to go with the AoE. I don't care about waking them up. It's a longer type of fight here. So I don't know how this is going to go, but we were very squishy with this. Ooh, polymorphed herself there. Very squishy with this combo, so let's see. How much does the A2 hit for? Yeah, not that high. Weak hit there on the Cadraphon, so didn't like it, but I mean, what you're gonna do? Still trying to lock them out. That Cadraphon is gonna attack, so I'm gonna try and sleep him. Oh, yeah, let's try and sleep them. Oh, okay. We not only woke him up, but we also got polymorphed. Yeah, fantastic. It's alright though. Look at how squishy he is for a damage dealer. With the sets I have on him, he's got like 30,000 health. So I can't see him being used in arena. He's gonna be so vulnerable to like enemies that can survive some hits. Like Hydraphon in this kind of setup mitigates a lot of damage. Maybe the combo that I'm using is not great. If I had a neck crit, I could use him to protect him basically, but it's not worth it. That's why I don't really like him in there. So for Doom Tower, as I said, the waves should be relatively easy to do. So if you have a look at just him on his own on how he's going to handle the wave right now. So look at this. He handles it in terms of damage. Let's see. Pops the passive. Look at this. Does damage. Hits them again. We get feared there. It's fine. They're hitting us with the the counter attack. It's okay. Why is it auto climbing though? All right, let's see. Let's see this without the auto climb. If we just throw him in there on himself with the amount of stats I have. So you open up with the big AoE there. Let's do the other AoE. There it is. Beautiful. The passive seemed to have proc there. I wonder if it's gonna proc now. There it is. We stunned them. That's fantastic. Skullcrusher actually cannot get stunned, so that's annoying. Do a little bit of damage there. We got feared. Cool. See the big AoE attack. Not that great. Lost a turn there. A1. Another Skullcrusher there. Fantastic. Ooh. Lots of buffs. We should be able to try and stun them now. There it is. Skullcrusher cannot get stunned. Still is very annoying. 8. Don't kill me. And then we take him out. Basically, took out the wave on his own. The stats I have on him are insane, but it just shows the ability to stun, makes it so that you're going to have a lot of easy progression through that. So what I want to test him also is probably like the clan boss with ally attack teams. So what I could test on the clan boss with him, it's like on a normal body eater team, just to see on what kind of damage he can do. I'm gonna check my stats and everything. Yeah, I can drop him in terms of the gear and just give him something else for just doing a lot more damage. So what I want to see on him, probably, actually no, I want to test him in just ally attack. Just ally attack champions. I wonder how he's gonna do. So Thor, let's throw Thor in there. Let me just throw random champions in there that I think are gonna help him out. Frisk. Then we want to have, let's say, Farrakhan. Let's see, guys. Farrakhan the fat ally attacks here. Let's see if we throw in the Padrick. Ooh, nice combo so far. And then maybe even like a Duchess would work nicely here, or actually a Valkyrie. I'm not even sure if my Valkyrie has. Okay, so this is just a stupid team I'm gonna throw on the clown balls just to see on what kind of damage we're gonna look at. Let's just see it in action on manual, just to see the passive proccing. I want to see that, how many times he's gonna proc, because of the ally attacks that counts again as his own damage. That's pretty nice. He buffs himself up, so there's that. You do need to have defense down on weekend to see the full potential of your damage. But the counterattacks here also count for his attacks. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right there. And then he just keeps on attacking like this, right? So whenever we get the chance, we'll attack through. Look at how much he hits. He hits for 100k per hit on his A1 and then has a chance to repeat. And he goes in again to attack. There's his passive proccing. Also, actually, they should have just had a counter there to help us with the damage. 180,000 from his passive, so that's nice. It's not insane, but we did 3 million damage in one turn, basically, with this team. So it should be like a comfortable team to use. So let's just exit this one and just see what kind of damage this is gonna look with the quick battle. I wonder if we can actually one key it. Is my Patrick without any gear on? Let me just fix him up. All right, let's just test the quick battle. I wonder how this is gonna go. Maybe 50 million. I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna survive. 70.59, exactly about on the one key without even really trying, with Thor doing 30 million, guys. 30 million damage very easily right there with this team. It just shows the power of the champion, really. I do like it. Fire King with the poisons and HP burns did nicely, and then Chris also. I don't even know how Chris did 9 million. I'm guessing just the War Master procs. Same thing with Patrick and Valkyrie, probably just doing a little bit of damage on their own. Pretty comfortable team with Thor. I do like him as a fusion. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't go for it, especially since we had a long break since the last champion. The fact that we're probably going to get a chance to get a good blessing on him. Why not? This was the video, guys, on Thor. I do think there's many combos of gear possibilities that we'll see that are going to make him work very well. This was the video. Thank you all, guys. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.